Although each personal journey of spiritual awakening, soul growth, and the expansion of consciousness can look very, very different from person to person, soul to soul, and journey to journey, there are a few themes that happen in one way or another. And by bringing mindful awareness to these components of the journey, we can be more conscious and intentional in facilitating, holding space, and investing in these areas so that we can accelerate our growth, our awakening, our ascension, and our expansion with unconditional love and the awareness of our own inner beings as divine consciousness from a quantum soul level. In this video, we're going to explore 3 different areas that we can look at, and it includes journal prompts too. So you can actually personally use this information to expand on your own inner journey right here, right now, through the introspective awareness of conscious expansion, healing, nourishment, and loving liberation with the intention of those energies. I am Kristin Windsor, and I am a guide and teacher that facilitates self-reunification while teaching about understanding and expanding body-mind miracles to support the infinite love of the true self. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being you. Along any journey of spiritual awakening, soul self-discovery, soul expansion, conscious expansion, vibrational ascension, expansion of consciousness, soul awakening, spiritual awakening, soul self-discovery, soul growth, any journey along those lines is going to have a variety of components where every being will experience them in one way or another. The details for each soul, each journey, and each person will look very different most of the time. But there are a few common themes, a few common components that we can bring awareness to. And as we bring awareness to these aspects of our journey, we can open more doors of opportunity to evolve through them, to intentionally harness them and focus on them and have intentions in pursuing them and allow them to be addressed and accomplished and worked towards and moved through with more awareness, more nourishment, more love, more consciousness, more presence, more intentionality, and more empowerment. And so one thing that happens along any journey of these lines is that the self must learn to meet itself independently of how life experience has taught the self to know itself. The self must learn to meet its own essence of self independently of how experience has taught the self to know itself thus far. And in that process, the body-mind learns to meet itself. The essence of soul learns to meet itself. And then the essence of self learns to navigate life in new ways because the soul is navigating experience consciously rather than the body-mind unconsciously navigating it. So the first thing that can happen along any type of journey along these lines, soul growth, soul awakening, soul discovery, spiritual awakening, expansion of consciousness, however you want to describe it, is that the self must meet itself independently of that which it has experienced thus far and independently of how it has previously known its own essence to be. It's a shift of self-association, a shift of identity, a shift of your sense of self, however you want to describe it. The second thing that needs to happen is that the body-mind needs to be upgraded in the way that it navigates and regulates existence so it can support this expanded essence of self. And that is a very complex journey. And again, the details of how all of this might happen will look different. There's an infinite amount of ways that it can unfold, an infinite amount of ways that you can focus on achieving or moving through these stages of a journey or these intentions of soul growth. But in this process, in one way or another, the systems of body-mind navigation need to be upgraded. And that looks like, one way to view it is, so imagine there's trillions of networks and they're carrying conscious and unconscious data. They're carrying data from every year of life. They're carrying data that has different navigational priorities. I'm navigating emotional health. I'm navigating physical health. I'm navigating, the extension of energy. I'm navigating the preservation of energy. I'm navigating the mind. I'm navigating the body. There's these different navigational priorities that are supporting the self in different ways within the human experience. And then there's self-associations, the way that the body-mind navigates how it associates with its own existence, and how that self navigates the association of everything else in life. Okay? And this references the ideological quintet of body-mind navigation, an original concept I've developed through my implicit revelations case study. But imagine that there's trillions of navigational networks and they carry data throughout these 5 distinct elements that I just described. In order for the body-mind to upgrade its navigational capacities to support the awakened essence of soul self, all that data needs to be reconstructed. Not to change the past or change the information, but to change how the body-mind is using that information to navigate existence. And that is a big key differentiator. Really, really, really important. The intention is not to change the past, not to rewrite experiences, not to rewrite the memories, but to rewrite the navigational patterns. One focuses on experiences that are no longer present. The other focuses on data inside of you right here, right now, in the present moment. And so they're both kind of addressing the same thing, but that shift of perspective is really important and can open some really powerful doors. So we're not changing the past, we're changing how the body-mind is using that information now, okay? And so in this process, we want to work with 2 things: the information and the way that that information is connecting. The data inside of the navigational structures and the way that all that data is connecting with each other. The specific messages of navigation, the patterns of thought, the patterns of feeling, the patterns of movement, the patterns of response, the pattern of self-association, the pattern of mind-body connection, the pattern of XYZ, and then the way that all that data is connecting. How this thought pattern and this emotional pattern and this action pattern and this region of mind-body connection and this and the way you associate with your own self here and the way you associate with yourself in these relationships and the way that you associate with yourself in relation with these physical objects, all that data is then connecting. And when we upgrade the content, we improve and expand the navigational messages of the body-mind. And when we evolve the connectivity, then those upgraded navigational messages can actually start to produce new styles of navigation and support the self in evolving into new styles of navigation. So you can improve the quality of the content to improve and expand the navigational messages that are affecting the way you think and feel and move and respond and make choices and connect with yourself and enjoy moments and enjoy sensory processing, all of it. And then when you start to work with the connectivity, then all of that improved information can actually start to make new connections and suggest new styles of navigation that you've never experienced before. New styles of thinking, feeling, moving, responding, choosing, associating with yourself that you've never experienced before. And both of these can really improve the quality of personal experience in really profound ways, where even if the details of life aren't necessarily changing, the way that you're encountering them is because your own consciousness and your own body-mind are changing in a good way, in a positive way, in a powerful way, in an uplifting way, in an enjoyable way, in a nourishing way. So the first thing that happens along this journey of spiritual awakening or soul growth or vibrational ascension or the expansion of consciousness is that the self learns to meet itself independently of how it's known its own existence to be. And that might be described as shadow work or an ego death or an integration or identity shift, or like there's lots of different ways to describe that. But how I view it is just the body mind is learning to meet itself independently of how experience taught it to meet itself, and the essence of self is learning to meet itself independently of how experience taught it to meet itself. And that can look very different for different people and different souls and different journeys, different stages of life. And the second thing that happens is that the content and connectivity in trillions of navigational networks throughout conscious and unconscious information with different navigational priorities in the subconscious, unconscious mind of the body, data from every year of life, self-associations, and the way that the self associates with all components of reality, the information and the way that information is connecting need to be improved and expanded, resculpted, not to rewrite the past, not to rewrite experiences or memories, but to repurpose them, to redirect the navigational priorities of them in the body-mind beyond awareness, so that consciousness can be supported by the body-mind, rather than the body-mind having all these projections that don't serve and support the essence of the true self. The third thing that can happen along this type of journey is to experience more energies of unconditional love. The true essence of self is unconditional love. And the body-mind was actually sculpted to be a container of infinite love, which is why attachment development is how the body-mind and the essence of consciousness are originally birthed into existence in the early stages of the human life. And so in the beginning, there's an abstract blueprint of a brain and a body, and the essence of self as soul. And then experiences through social engagement and attachment development sculpt the brain and body into individualized specificity, allowing the self to experience a unique human form with a specific body-mind that is unique to that essence of soul in this lifetime. But when there are moments of unfulfilled attachment needs, then the body-mind doesn't have the systems of navigation and regulation to support the experience of unconditional love or the soul self identity as perfect infinite love. And so the third thing that can happen along this type of a journey, whatever it might look like for you, again, the details will look very different, but in one way or another, along any journey that is along those lines, we encounter these stages, these phases, these progressions through awakening, expansion, ascension. Is to know the self as love, is to expand the capacity to experience unconditional love. And so what that means is connecting with the essence of self as love and infusing energies of unconditional love into the body-mind. Having a practice that helps to infuse the body-mind with energies of unconditional love and attachment need fulfillment, and to rebirth the identity of self and to shift the self-association so that the self can actually associate with its own existence through a lens of unconditional love. And in this process, all the different experiences of life can then have higher energies, higher frequencies, higher vibrations, elevated energies of unconditional love, because consciousness and the body-mind miracles supporting the essence of self are both vibrating at a higher energy of love. And so the third thing is to be able to experience expanded states of unconditional love, which is the true identity of self and the ideal original blueprint of the body-mind to experience unconditional love. I invite you to create space and take some time now to meditate. Maybe journal, maybe eye gaze in a mirror, speak aloud and reflect to yourself, make an audio note and record, or journal and write about it, meditate and just turn inward and have an internal discussion with your own self through your consciousness, through the miracles of your body-mind, and explore these ideas. Maybe spend some time in nature. If you are on a journey of spiritual awakening, soul awakening, the awakening of consciousness, or a healing journey where you're healing on a soul level, you're healing things on a quantum level, you're healing things through a process of awakening to your soul. You're expanding consciousness, expanding the essence of soul, expanding into greater attunement and unity and alignment and embodiment of the spirit soul essence of you and the infinity experiencing itself through you, however you want to describe it. If any of that resonates and you're on a journey like this in any kind, any way, at any stage of such a journey, I invite you to create space and introspectively explore. Have you been able to meet the essence of yourself independently of how experience taught you to know yourself? Has your body-mind had the opportunity to meet itself independently of how its unconscious navigational patterns automatically project the way that it's supposed to know itself? And is the essence of your consciousness capable of encountering moments independently of the automated projections from the body-mind through the expansion and awakening of consciousness? That's the first question. And the second one is, okay, so how are these structures in my body-mind? What are some areas of content or connectivity that might need to be upgraded to support my essence of self? This includes deep connection with the inner child, allowing the childhood self to see the adult that they grew up to be and the adult who is here now to care for them without the experiences between childhood and now blocking the flow of that energy of self-essence. It looks like processing all of the different traumas that might be stored anywhere in your consciousness or your body-mind. And my work focuses on trauma throughout this lifetime, but along a journey of spiritual awakening, we come to know that there could be traumas trapped from, our generational ancestral line and past lifetimes, etc., and it goes very quantum. So the next piece of this is to make sure that you have some kind of practice or some kind of conscious intentionality of investment in your inner work and play to make sure that you are in a process. Don't have to be there, right? It's a journey. It's always a journey. There's always new layers and levels. But to have something where you are consistently encouraging and creating space, holding space, facilitating space for any unprocessed experiences or past traumas to be healed, released, and integrated. And another piece about this second little thing we're discussing here is the integration of brain hemispheres, brain lobes, brain regions, and nervous systems. Mind-body connection, left-right brain connection. Connection from the nervous system here to the nervous system that goes down through the body. And another one is shifting self-associations from past relationships. When we are in any type of relationships, whether that's with family members, starting from early childhood, whether that's with friends throughout our life, whether that's with any kind of work situation, coworkers or bosses of any kind, whether that's romantic partners of any kind, or anyone else, when we have a type of relationship with another person, the body-mind learns how to navigate in relation with the self, in relation with that person and situation. And then the self-associations actually hold energetic patterns and imprints in relation with that association and that relationship. And so when the soul starts to awaken and shift and upgrade the navigational patterns of the body-mind to support the awakened essence of self, we need to complete the navigational patterns and shift those self-associations so the body-mind can associate with itself independently of those relationships and be free to explore new styles of self-associations, which also affect new styles of associating with all other beings. And there's a few other ones, but those are some of the main ones. Deep connection with that inner child or childhood self, processing any unprocessed experiences or traumas, integrating the regulatory systems that support the navigation through body-mind miracles, and shifting self-associations, including completing any past relationships in terms of the navigational energies in the body-mind affecting consciousness. And so there's a complete reorganization of these structures going on. The content and connectivity in trillions of pathways starts to shapeshift and get reorganized, and we're able to experience a different style of navigating our own existence. And that might come up in really subtle ways,
like how you experience smelling certain aromas. Or it could come up in really dramatic ways, like the way I see myself in a mirror is like I'm meeting someone I've never met before, and it's like I'm getting to know who I am for the very first time in my life. And so the next one here is exploring during my journey. If you've been on a journey for a while now, how has the navigational systems of my body-mind experienced upgrades, improvements, and expansion, so that the body-mind miracles navigating and regulating my life are actually able to support my soul more than, a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, whatever it might be. And along with that, from here moving forward, what am I doing, or what practices am I cultivating, or what space am I holding, or what inner work or play am I facilitating for myself, or maybe supported by other people or opportunities or connections? What space am I holding for myself so that my body-mind can continue to upgrade, improve, and expand the navigational content, connectivity, and trillions of networks, including conscious and unconscious data with different navigational roles and priorities, data from every year of life experience, data about self-associations, and information about how the self associates with all the other components of reality. And the content and connectivity within each of those 5 descriptors I just said, and throughout them all. And what is one space that maybe needs a little more extra love? Maybe you need a little more extra love in terms of connecting with your childhood self. Maybe you need a little extra love in processing some past experiences, pains, or traumas. Maybe you need a little extra attention and nourishment in associating with yourself independently of other people, whether those are people in your life or who used to be in your life, but the energies are still imprinted in the body-mind. And maybe it's connection between left and right brain hemispheres, like, sense some imbalance that shows up in different areas of my experience. Or maybe it's something else. And so just take some time to reflect. Since my spiritual awakening, since my soul awakening, since the beginning of this journey of expanding my consciousness, since however you want to describe it, whatever resonates, how has my body-mind already been upgraded to support my essence of self more so than it was before? And from here moving forward, what areas need a little bit more focus, and what am I doing to facilitate that? How am I investing in myself to facilitate that, to hold space for that, to be mindful and intentional about investing in that with the awareness of my consciousness and love, unconditional love? And then that third thing is, how am I learning to experience more energies of unconditional love in my everyday experience? How am I learning to associate with my own existence as love, as infinite love, as sacred love, as unconditional love? How am I learning to associate with my own sense of self, my own identity, my own personal who I am as a being, as consciousness, as soul, as essence, as a being in this human form, in relation with infinite love, with the sacred love I am, with the unconditional love that is the truth of all I am? And how am I allowing my body-mind to experience more energies of unconditional love? Maybe there's a daily practice that you hold space for, that creates space for that, okay? Or whatever it might be. So turn inward and ask, how am I connecting with the essence of myself as love? How am I learning to know myself as love? How am I learning to encounter the identity of my soul essence as love, as sacred love, as infinite love, as unconditional love? And how am I facilitating, holding space for, being intentional and conscious to passively hold space for and actively invest in, either or both, whatever fits where you're at, on a consistent basis, so that my body-mind learns to navigate life from love and the fulfillment of its internal needs, the fulfillment of its attachment needs. So that instead of the body-mind navigating, I need to go there and do this and go there and do this and connect with that person and go to that situation so that maybe I'll feel seen, maybe I'll feel loved, maybe I'll feel like I belong, maybe I'll feel important, maybe I'll feel respected, maybe I'll feel safe, maybe I'll feel connected and supported. Instead, the body-mind is receiving that from the essence of self as love. And then the body-mind is actually able to hold energies of love and experience energies of love at a higher vibration on a more consistent basis. And so this third little question here, there's kind of more questions per point here, but in this introspective exploration, ask yourself, how am I connecting with the essence of myself as love? How am I learning to know myself as love? And how am I holding space for and facilitating and intentionally investing in fulfilling the internal needs of my body-mind so that my body-mind can know unconditional love through its navigational energies? So I invite you to go just turn inward and explore this. And again, maybe dive into nature, maybe do some breathing, maybe do some body movement, maybe do some mirror eye gazing meditation, maybe do some journaling, maybe do an audio recording in your private notes to reflect, whatever your style of introspective exploration is, and ask yourself these questions. You can go back and rewatch this as many times as you want. And as you do so, the energies of the activations of these messages will engage in new ways through the body-mind miracles of your consciousness. For your consciousness is expanding beyond the body-mind miracles, but the body-mind must support the expansion of consciousness by expanding with it. And so as you rewatch this video, as you re-listen to these words, there will be new activations in your body-mind and in your consciousness that will support new implicit revelations in your journey. So I invite you to listen to it as many times as you feel inspired. Maybe come back to it once a week for a month or so, whatever feels resonant, and create space to ask these questions in a way that you are open to new answers, in a way that you are open to new discoveries, in a way that you are open to new insights about your own inner being and new opportunities for ways to invest in these areas of meeting yourself independently of experience, expanding the body-mind miracles to support the expansion of your consciousness, and in experiencing unconditional love through the fulfillment of attachment needs for the body-mind and anchoring the identity of infinite love that is the truth of the self. So I invite you to just go create space, explore these questions, rewatch them if you need to come back and write down what the questions were. Make them your own. You can shift some of the details. If something doesn't resonate, just take what resonates and leave the rest. And if you'd like to dive deeper, I invite you to explore my offerings. Through Kristin's Quantum Catalyzer, I offer self-guided journeys, one-time sacred soul sessions, and multi-month personalized pathways, and we dive deep into exactly this and so much more. And the journeys that I share are transformative, life-changing, life-shifting, heart-opening, mind-expanding, body-mind healing, soul awakening and activating. And they truly shift the energies of your very existence from the foundation of your being. And there's a little something for everyone. There's different types of journeys, depending who you are, where you're at, or what you're ready to invest in your own loving liberation, conscious expansion, and the healing nourishment of your inner being. There's over 12 different kinds of self-guided journeys, several different types of one-time sacred soul sessions, and a couple different styles of multi-month personalized pathways with me. Everything from inward journeys of imagination, self-hypnosis, third eye activations of consciousness, and practicing social self-engagement as different aspects of the self learn to fulfill attachment needs and grow attachments with aspects of the self, to fulfill all three of these intentions, all three of those things I mentioned: meeting the self independently of experience in ways it's never known, expanding trillions of networks on the content connectivity, navigating life, and anchoring unconditional love into identity and the experience of body-mind miracles through its navigational structures. And so there's the inward journeys of imagination, there's body-mind soul-self treasure mapping, where we're able to explore specific personal experiences, specific elements of how the body-mind is navigating life and creating experiences for consciousness, and to pinpoint different attachment needs that are underlying specific navigational patterns in the body-mind, certain patterns of thoughts, feelings, movements, responses, choice tendencies, personality traits, and more. And then create a personalized play prompt prescription where you have daily practices that can help to shift the navigational energies, nourish those internal attachment needs, and reunify all aspects of self with unconditional love. And again, this journey can facilitate all of the things that I described before. And there's other types of inward journeys, there's other types of one-time sacred soul sessions. Multi-month journeys are explored through my Trifecta treasure trove or Mirror Play with Mirror Power, the two main components of my business. And self-guided journeys, again, there's a wide variety, whether you're looking to resculpt unconscious memories that are at the foundation of all navigation and regulation in the body-mind, whether you are looking to explore how consciousness is experiencing its infinite nature through the finite miracles of the human experience in this form, supported by trillions of navigational networks and body-mind miracles. Whether you're looking for an inward journey, like I said, this is a pre-recorded journey rather than a personalized one-on-one session where you can practice social self-engagement and meet the body-mind independent of experience, help resculpt these navigational structures and anchor in more infinite level, reunifying with the childhood self. There are so many different types of journeys that fulfill different purposes, different intentions, but all along these lines in one way or another. So I invite you to explore my offerings through Kristin's Quantum Catalyzer, self-guided journeys, one-time sessions, multi-month pathways. If you have any questions about them or would like more information or would like to order a copy or schedule a session or clarify something about these offerings, you can always email me directly. My email is listed in the different offerings. It's HeavenOnEarthFromWithin@gmail.com. And there's also a merchandise store to support the healing journey of loving liberation and conscious expansion. From liberated consciousness to inner child liberation, different affirmations and mantras, different insights and activating phrases. There's a wide variety of merchandise items to serve and support your journey with over 100 original designs. There's also a variety of free gifts, free libraries of videos, free libraries of playbooks, PDF documents you can download that also serve and support the journey in a variety of ways. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Please, please create space to explore these questions. If you feel comfortable, you can leave a comment below and share some of the insights of your responses to these questions. And I invite you to hit the like button, the subscribe button, leave some kind of positive engagement so that this content can reach more people. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day.